I guess you can already imagine that. Um, um, by default, uh, your switches will be responsible of allowing PC number one to talk to PC number three if ever there is, yeah, they are to communicate with each other. The problem here is that your switch requires, what exactly are those information that the switch requires in order to pass a data packet from one device to another device? It requires the source address, right? So that's a source address and the destination address. Okay. So that's basically handled by the switch. So that's the idea. So it's handled by the switch. Now, if if we're talking about the switch, that's the capability of your switch. The question is how those information, the source address and the destination address, is generated at the end device level. Meaning, we are well aware that that data packet did not started from your switch, right? Wala na siya nagsugod sa imong switch. It doesn't start from your router. It doesn't start, or they are not generated from your intermediary network devices. They are basically generated from your end device. So this means this information has to be created initially so that they will be handled by the switches or by your routers. So we'll go into detail about ARP. We'll go into detail with ARP and ND. Compare the roles of the MAC address and the IP address. What exactly is ARP and what is neighbor discovery? Okay, so let's proceed with MAC and IP. For this particular slide, I am already confident you guys are well aware already of this information because we've already been iterating this for a lot of times already. So again, layer 2 refers to the data link layer and handles the physical address, or also known as the MAC address. You're very well aware of that, and is used for NIC to NIC communications on the same network. So that's network interface card to another network interface card communication, as long as it's within your local area network or your local Ethernet network. And then the layer 3, which refers to your network layer, is basically responsible of handling the logical address, or also known as the IP address. It's used to send a packet from your source device towards your destination device. Layer 2 addresses are used to deliver frames from one NIC to another NIC in the same network. And if a destination IP address is on the same network, the destination MAC address will be that of the destination device. So if there is an existing IP address, so that's basically na set up na nimo na subnet, you have there a DHCP server handling your local area network, and in which each of the devices have their own IP addresses. The corresponding IP address of your destination device will also serve as the destination MAC address for the intention of communication. Okay, so kung unsay destination IP address nga gi-adapt sa imong network, mausa na siya may mahimong destination MAC address nga gi-adapt sa imong devices. Okay, so the idea here is that ARP and ND, in essence, just to give everyone a premise, is basically having these two addresses, the MAC address and the IP address, working in tandem. Okay, so this means na ako'y, think of it this way. I think na am take one dali. Yeah. Think of it this way. Okay. We are well aware that basically we are well aware that in the data link layer, this destination MAC address and this source MAC address here changes from device to device every time that it sends a data packet from device to another device. Your destination MAC address and the source MAC address also change accordingly from device to device. And then when we have to communicate between one end device here and this device over here, the destination MAC addresses may change accordingly, but using ARP or either neighbor discovery, this addresses may not change. It may not change exactly intermittently, but relies on your IP addresses. So the destination MAC address and this information here, depending on which device is communicating, will change accordingly using this addresses, using the IP address. They will change accordingly if you have both of these addresses working together. Okay, so how does this happen or how does this occur? Then you have here the following. So naatay ARP, naatay ICMP v6. And all of those are basically adapted through IPv4 and IPv6 protocol. So when the destination, so as based here on this description, the destination IP, when the destination IP address is on a remote network, okay, the destination MAC address is that of the default gateway, and ARP is used by IPv4, to associate IPv4 address of a device with the MAC address of the device NIC, and ICMPv6 is specific to IPv6, so as to associate IPv6 addresses of a device with the MAC address of a device NIC. So that means the MAC address, the destination MAC address that's generated by your source device, if there is an existing IP address within the network, okay, then that destination MAC address is basically generated through the IP addresses. Okay, so it's generated through the IP addresses. If the IP address had already existed, now you might have this question, sir, when will be the cases that the IP address had already been generated by default? So one way of having that is through the use of the DHCP. So that's DHCP particularly for IPv4, or the dynamic host configuration, dynamic host configuration protocol, which you may have there a DHCP server. So na kay server dira that generates IP addresses automatically for all connected devices within a local area network. So you now have those IP addresses. Now, if one device, okay, so nanakay, let's say, nanakay gitawag na to og dynamic IP address for all of the devices connected. So if you initiate, okay, so if you initiate there a communication from one source computer to another computer within that local area network, within that network, and okay, and the IP address already exists, then we may use the IP addresses to create the MAC addresses, specifically the destination MAC addresses. Okay, we'll have an example for that demonstrated later. Okay. So let's proceed here to ARP. So ARP overview. So a device uses ARP to determine the destination MAC address of a local device when it knows its IPv4 address. So this means that it would be able to determine there the destination MAC address through the use of the IPv4 address, or basically the IP address, regardless of IPv4 ba na siya or IPv6. Okay, so nahug nga MAC address, the MAC address of that device is reliant on that on that IP address. So ARP performs these two basic functions. So these two basic functions are the following. You got there resolving the IPv4 addresses to MAC addresses and maintaining an ARP table of IPv4 to MAC address mappings. So this means that your devices, your end devices, your computer, your laptop, will also generate its own address table. Okay, it's usually stored at the device's cache, providing their information on where exactly your end device is to communicate once it generates a data packet. Okay, so Kay bauta sa ato ang previous lesson, si switch mag-generate sad siya iyahang table for it to route data packets from device to device within a local area network. The router is also responsible of handling data packets being transferred from network to network. And all of those rely on a routing table or a routing mechanism handled by that intermediary network device. In your end device, they generate the data packets. Basically, the end devices are responsible of creating the data packets. And at the same time, it also have to keep information or keep track of the information where that data packet is being sent. Asa na siya gipadala. Okay? So, nasa siya iyahang table. So, your end devices have their own tables as well. So, as to keep track of the destination of those data packets being sent within your network. Okay? So, mga na siya. Okay. So, here is the before we proceed on the ERP functions, we'll skip a few slides. This is just to kuan lang kay mas taas tawag discussion regarding the how ARP and ND works. So, we'll have here some, I think, administrative related ng mga concepts relating to relating to the use of the ARP or the ND. So, um, um, when your end devices create an ARP table, or if not an ARP table, an ND table, katong neighbor discovery table specific to IPv6, the information that are stored on that table, whether that is ARP or the ICMP for IPv6 are generated, entries that are found on those tables are not permanent. Okay? They're not permanent, and they are removed when either of two ways. One is that the cache timer, that's basically where the addresses, the destination addresses will be stored in your end devices. Okay, sa imuha ng source device, they are stored in the cache, and the timer that keeps track of those information had already expired. You may have remembered, I guess you may have remembered nga, this is also the same with the router and as well as with the switch, where they have a refresh time before any of those information stored in the table, in the routing tables, before those information in the routing tables are basically cleaned or deleted or expired. So you have that timer. Okay, so the duration of the cache, in this case that would be the ARP cache for IPv4 timer, differs depending on the operating system. Although by default it's usually stored similar to the switches in terms of one, like almost similar to 5, but it may differ from operating system to another operating system. So it could be different with Windows, it could be different with Linux, etc. And then ARP tables or ARP table entries can also be removed manually by the administrator, meaning you as the admin you have the capability to basically manually delete those entries that are stored on the ARP. Okay. Then, if you want to check the ARP tables through the networking devices, in this case, you can try to check it out. Kanidere. If you utilize the CLI or the command line interface from your Cisco Packet Tracer ng mga units, those that you have generated through the Cisco Packet Tracer, you would be able to access this through privilege exec mode. Okay, so privilege exec mode, because you know that it already access privilege exec mode when the command line interface already shows here the name of the router, then followed by the hashtag here, and then type in there the command show IP ARP. Okay, and then it will show exactly this information here, what what kind of device has your end device, or what exactly are the devices that are currently connected to your end device. So in this case, that end device is your computer. So what are those that are connected within your network? Now, you can also do this in Windows. So as shown here in this example, so sa Windows, mauni ang iyahang ipakita. You just type in there ARP-A, and then it will show you there the ARP table stored in the computer's cache. Okay, so there are concerns. Okay, so there are issues though with ARP, and in which most of these issues were already answered or had been resolved by the time that you will utilize IPv6. So, may mga vulnerabilities ni siya sa ARP. So, ARP requests are received and processed by every device on the local area network. So, basically, yeah, you're one computer connected or communicating to another computer. Excessive ARP broadcasts can cause some reduction in the performance. Okay, consider that you have multiple number of devices. Well, this will not be a problem in this example here shown in this illustration, because you only have a few number of devices, right? So nada kay usa or duha tulo. But this would be problematic if ARP is utilized excessively with multiple number of devices. So it will flood out the cache, or not flood out, but rather it will fill entirely the cache of your source devices, and as well as it will also affect the routing tables of either your switches and your switches, and as well as your router. So it would actually cause congestion. Okay, so network congestion. So ARP replies. So this is something that had to be considered. I will not discuss this because first and foremost, I don't have much knowledge about this yet, because this is more of a security related topic, and you will also learn this further, or you will learn this on a future topic soon enough once you will reach your course in computer security. Most likely your teacher that will handle that class would be Dr. Astilio. Okay, so enterprise level switches include mitigation techniques to protect against ARP attacks. Okay, so there are certain switches that to an extent could handle ARP requests and replies, and they can basically be managed to an extent, but you need to have this type of switches that has that capability. So mga enterprise level ng mga switches. And then there's also the problem with there's also the problem where because of ARP, there's a possibility that a device during any ARP operations can be intercepted if suddenly the receiving, or rather the destination device, had been replaced. So lilisan siya, it might have been rerouted, so your computers could be spoofed. Okay, so but yeah, your data packets can have been spoofed. So usa na siya ka vulnerability. So some of these issues have been addressed through ICMPv6, not entirely as not entirely solved, but at least it had been remedied. So na-lessen ang kanisya nga problem. So, lessened, and as well as kanang it's lessened, and at least kaning discourages any form of this, discourages third parties to do any of this kind of malicious activity. Okay, So, yeah. Now, going back kay ang kuan, si tawag gani, how do we exactly like, wait. I just need to finish everything that has to be, oh no, this is already on the IPv6 already. Okay, so IPv6 na siya. So, allow me to open, so going back here, mo ni siya, no? How exactly address resolution is done through your end devices. Okay, so I'll be presenting a different slide here. Just allow me to show this particular I'm actually using Paint at the moment, so kanilang sorry for the sorry for the drawings. Okay. Okay, so we have here we have here the following. So just allow me to continue this one. I'll have here a switch, which I would now have in the middle and connect between this device to this one. So we'll have the following named accordingly. So we have here PC number 1. Okay. Yeah, we'll have it PC number 1. Just name it that way. And then I'll have here PC number 2. Oh, just to verify, kita ra mo sa akong kuan dre, ga-drawing ko dre. Kita ra? Okay ra. Sige. So, next we'll have here PC number 3. Okay, thank you for confirming. Okay. So, we'll have to adjust that a little bit. There, and I have a router here. Oh no. And we're gonna connect them accordingly. Just a straight line over here. From this PC to this switch. This PC over here to this switch. This switch to this PC over here. And then here connected to our router. Okay. Then we'll have some of the following information that we'll have to add. In this case, that would be the we're gonna start first with IP, because that's IPv4. So this here is represented as IPv4, IPv4 ARP. So that is basically address resolution protocol. And we'll have some addresses, specifically the IP address IP address sa where is that? Here we'll have, or we'll assign, this should be, we're just gonna add here an IP address generated from an IPv4 kuan. So that's 192.168.10. We can have this assigned as 220, or rather we can have probably 110. That should be fine. And then below it, we'll have the representation of the MAC address in 4 hexadecimal digits. So this is for kanang, what call this, for demonstration purposes lang, para dili kayo mag-type og taas kayo para lang sa MAC address. Okay, so that's the following. Okay, so we have here this. Then I'll have this as well. but instead of 196.168.10, 110, that should be 120. 120 should be fine. Then here, this is MAC address 0B. And then for PC number 3 here, we'll assign that as any number should do. That should be 50. And then the MAC address here would be C. And then for this router, yeah, I forgot to name this guy here. I'm gonna name him as R1. R1, and then I'll have default gateway money. So this means that we'll have to have, we need to have the similar subnet of these devices in this network. So that should also be 192.168 dot, and the usual gateway assigned for this would be .1. So we have reserved that at least for this particular device. And then for the MAC address, we'll have this as D. Okay. I think in details, this should be fine. Okay. So ito lang yung butang na rin. Yeah. So we now have these corresponding IP addresses and MAC address for our for this simple network illustration. So we also have to consider that that this device initially, so each of our devices in this network had already been assigned with an IP address, but these devices yet haven't established a connection. Wala pa idea si, for instance, PC number 1 here might have attempted to communicate to PC number 3, and by default, and what I'm referring to by default, once if a data packet is generated where PC number 1 needs to communicate to PC number 3, the MAC address of the destination device, in which that destination device here is in PC number 3, is not yet made aware. It's not yet learned from PC number 1 because it's been generated first at the very first. So how that data packet is generated, so that the said payload, okay, so the said payload will be sent accordingly to PC number 3. We'll know about that one on the following. Okay, so what happens is that PC number 1 in its so in its what do you call this, in its cache, it basically stores this particular table. So let me just have that here. Ako lang yung number. We'll have, so ang atong gi-attempt karon is that we will communicate PC number 1 to PC number 3. Okay? So PC number 1 to PC number 3. And we will utilize the IP of these devices so that we would be able to obtain the MAC addresses of your devices, okay? Of the devices. So that they can properly communicate later, and your switch, or if not the switch, the router, would be able to handle any transactions that would occur between the devices, because they already know the destination one. They already know the one. They already know the intended destination addresses for those devices. Okay, so I'll have to input here the table that is currently stored in your source device. That would be PC1. We'll have here the ARP cache. Okay. So we'll just have to show that. And then we'll have the IPv4. That should be IP v4 address. Okay. And MAC address. So we have here this cache. So ato lang yung icon right now. Ato lang yung ana nasa. Okay. So let's initiate that communication, okay? So we now have PC1 transmit a PC number 3. Now it checks first, okay? So it checks first. It's PC1 ARP cache. Now your PC1 ARP cache at the very start doesn't contain anything, right? So wala pa siya wala pa siya info at that moment. It doesn't contain any information yet. The purpose of the cache is basically for us to know exactly the destination of this data packet that we have represented here, which is separated by 4 boxes. So that this here, so mo niya itong ipadala, this would be our data packet. Okay? So, mo niya itong data packet. Or we could just simply say it as our payload. So mo na itong ipadala. So what are the information that we need? What's basically the composition of the data packet or of our payload. So typically it will have the following. You'll have here the information provided by the data link layer. Basically that is the Ethernet header. And the Ethernet header will have the following information. So you got here your destination MAC address, destination MAC address, okay, that over there, and then over here will be your source MAC address, okay, MAC address. And then information regarding your network layer. That's basically your source and destination address handled by your network layer. So that's basically your IP packet. These are basically information. Kaning IP packet is this is basically the encapsulated information that came from your network layer, and then it's handled now eventually by your data link layer. So it's already been encapsulated within a data frame. So that information basically is your source IP. Okay, so source IP. Okay. And then this over here, okay, source IP. And then over here will be your destination IP. Destination IP. Okay. So we can already fill this in, okay? Because the IP information that's already been encapsulated from your application layer towards the data link layer, we're already obtained, and in which we want PC number 1 to be connected to PC number 3. So that means your destination IP is already available. That would be 192. Okay, so we have here 192.168.10. In this case, we will be communicating to PC number 3. Okay, .50. And then our source IP, this is coming from PC number 1. So that's basically 192.168.10.110. And then for our source MAC address is that MAC address is supposedly 00-08. Okay. Now, ARP is responsible, again, as we already had mentioned earlier, ARP is basically responsible of obtaining the destination MAC address of our supposedly device that we want to transmit this payload over here, and for which initially in these transactions, during the occurrence of this transaction, the destination MAC address of PC number 3 is not yet known. So, wala pa na siya mailhin. Okay. Okay. So, it's not yet known. So, how does the address how is it being resolved, and what processes comes in? What processes would come in or are that actually are entailed the moment that this had to be initiated? So, waman siya idea no, na wala tayo idea sa MAC address. So, what happens next is this. This payload, this data packet would be put on hold. So, on hold ni nato siya. We're just gonna mention nga it will be put on hold, okay? Okay, walay idea currently si walay idea currently si kaninga PC, si PC number 1 kung unsay MAC address ni PC number 3. Okay. So it needs that information because again, we're basically referring now to the NIC part of the devices, okay? So NIC muna, NIC, okay? So that should be the quad. That's the gist of it. So let me just adjust that para matarong na. Okay. So what happens here is that I'm just gonna copy this. The payload will be put on hold, and a request data packet is actually sent instead to the device so as to identify those information. So, unsa na siya nga information ng atong gipasabot. So, we refer to this payload here. Kay kani siya kay giput on hold man ni siya, kani diri giput on hold. So, it will send instead what we call an ARP request. Okay? ARP request packet. Okay. So, it will send this instead. Butang lang tag-araw. Kaya aron natay ilanan nga mo ni iyang gi-generate. Okay. So, what exactly are the contents of your ARP request? So, it will be almost similar to the content of our earlier payload, but the difference is that, well, we still keep the source MAC address. Okay, same magyapon na siya because PC number 1 is your source address or your source device. And then, we'll have to provide here the IP address. So, this will be change instead. So we'll have to remove this. This now here will be changed instead to our target IP. Okay, target IPv4. So what exactly is our target IPv4? Diba nga to ang gusto nga i-communicate kay si 192.168.10.50. Okay, so that's basically our target IP. That's exactly the device that we want to establish communication. And this here, instead of the destination IP, this will be changed instead to obtaining here. So this will now be the packet that will be responsible of holding later or identifying later what exactly would the MAC address would be. So nahog ni siya dire. This would be our target MAC. So okay, target MAC address kay wa man ta kay baw ana niya target MAC address. This will be left blank at the moment. Target MAC address. So basically ang nagadag bida aning ko ano to, nagadag bida aning ato ang sa pag-obtain aning information or pag-establish ning communication kay ang imuhang IP address. So this here unknown pa ni siya. Mga question mark lang sa natin butang nila. Okay. Okay? So, this request will be generated. So this data packet here, which we refer to as the ARP request, will be generated. And the payload, the earlier data packet that is supposed containing your information, whatever that is, it could be contents of a text, it could be an email, etc., blah, blah, blah. Instead, the payload will be sent, you'll have there an ARP request, okay? So you have an ARP request generated. Here's the thing. I would like to ask this from the crowd. What do you think would be the destination MAC address if we have to conduct a request? What do you think? Now, I may have a very vague question, so let's change it rather. Kanang, remember how your data packets are communicated towards the devices? There were 3 of them, right? There was unicast, there is multicast, and then there is broadcast. Among the 3, which would be the most applicable one? Either you can answer through your microphones or you can chat. Based on what you guys have learned from our previous lesson. Anyone? What do you think? So I actually have typed in the chat 3 of the ways that your data packets are actually transmitted or communicated all throughout your network. So, okay, we have an answer here coming from Carlo. So his answer is broadcast. Any others? Any others?
I'm a good student.
Unicast, na ni-answer nga Unicast. Okay, ni-answer si Sibilia o Unicast. Any others? Interesting king answers ba kay na ay answer din ay question mark. Kuan ba? Any others? Sa uban. So na ay Unicast. Okay, Unicast. Na ay ni-answer Unicast, broadcast. Okay, so do we have a good answer coming from Hatulan? If you remember, what usually happens if your devices doesn't have any information yet of the data packets that are actually being received, your devices actually are being flooded. Your switches are actually being flooded. So it floods all throughout your network. So this means if we are to do a flood, that means your communication or your transmission is in the form of a broadcast. Okay? Correct. So check. Ako lang yan lang. Okay. So the answer should be a broadcast. And knowing that it is a broadcast, this means that our ARP request, instead of, well, we don't know yet exactly the intended destination device, then this here will be instead replaced with, let me just change that. This here will now be FFF because we are doing a broadcast. Okay. Oh no. Okay, that should be FF-FF. Okay. Yeah. So ano siya? So karon, it will flood or it will send this data request, this ARP request towards the switch. So we're just gonna make some directions here, represented in red. Okay, so it will be sent towards this koan. And it will flood accordingly to all of the devices connected in our network. It would be at PC number 3. It will also, the data packet will also be sent to PC number 2. And as well towards our router. Okay. What's the next thing that will happen, given that you guys have already learned this from your previous lesson? What will then happen to that data packet, that ARP request packet? So let's say it has been received by PC number 2. So what happens next is that PC number 2 receives the data packet, processes this information, de-encapsulates the data packet, and compares. So that's basically processing there the Ethernet head, checks the Ethernet head, checks the contents of the IP packet, de-encapsulates it, processes that packet, and PC number 2 compares the the IP address of PC number 2, which is this here, that's 192.168.10.20, and the target IPv4 nga information kani siya dire. Let me just highlight that. Okay. Nga naa dire gi-provide sa ato ang ARP request. Question: are the two of this the same? So no, they are not the same. So basically, that IP packet right now being contained in the ARP request and the IP that is withheld by PC number 2 at the moment, or is actually being held by PC number 2, so as to identify this computer, are not the same. So this means this entire ARP request will be discarded. So you guys are aware of that already. So okay, gi-mention na to before sa network layer na to nga discussion. So that's discarded. The same ARP request packet also reaches your router and then compares the target IPv4 held by the ARP request. It's then de-encapsulated until it reaches there, this portion here, and compares this data packet with the IP address held by our router. So that would be 192.168.10.1. And then after comparison, they are not the same, then it will discard the said packet. It doesn't necessarily have to reply back to the requesting device. It's just a matter of discarding it, and then the device, the receiving devices, will be idle. So tanga na sila dira. So wala sila buhaton, they will turn idle. And because of this, because the default gateway is not the one intended for that data packet or that ARP request, so it will not send. Okay, so I think naasa ko yung nakalimutan na rin. I should have drawn that as well. Okay, so let me just draw that. We'll have here, I think it should be drawn as a cloud. Sorry for the drawing, because I'm only using a mouse. And that here is the internet. Okay. Yep. That over there is the one. And then with that, because it's not the intended device, because it's not the intended device, then it will be discarded and will not be forwarded towards any remote network. So canceled na siya. Okay, so we're just gonna have to recon. Then let me just copy this here. Okay, so with that in mind, so na transmit na nato na dito ang kuan, na dito ang dito ang ato ang data packet dere. Ito na ipakita nire. And then it's now received by PC number 3. PC number 3 receives the ARP request, encapsulates the data packet, and compares the target IPv4 of contained in the packet and the address, the IP address of PC number 3. So after comparing, if they are now the same, PC number 3, after confirming, then this is basically your target IPv4. It will now confirm nga, I'm actually the device expecting this request. Okay, so mo na ang iyahang kung anon, sabi compare siya pareha 192.168.10.50, 192.168.10.50, and then that's it. Okay, so after receiving or after reception, what comes after? So, mo ni question karon. So, ang sunod mahitabuan na is that si PC number 3, okay? So, si PC number 3 will now generate. So, this here, just allow me to continue that. Ako lang butang dire. So, with that, okay. So, what we'll have to do next is that it will now generate. Where exactly was that? Wait lang ha. Okay. Wait, ako ang kuan. Mm-hmm. Wait. Where exactly is that? So this should be. This is not anymore a request, but rather. Oh no. Oh no. Nope. Okay, this should be now an ARP reply. Just turn that black. ARP reply. So what happens here is that it will now generate, or PC number 3, after confirming that it is exactly the requested device, it will now generate what we call an ARP reply. Now we'll have to make some changes here. So, kana siya, ato na erase. The source MAC address now will not anymore be 00A because the one generating this ARP reply, this is basically the reply from the request, okay? So, this now will be 00 dash 0C, okay? That's siya, muna ni siya. Then, it as part of the reply confirming that the target IPv4 is, yeah, this is 192.168.10.50. So kani siya, si target MAC, as part of that reply will have now, or will now contain the MAC address of this target IPv4 of this IP address. So that here now will be changed. This here will now contain exactly the MAC address held by 192.168.10.50, and that is 00-0C. And then, question. What will now be our destination MAC address? Because the request is coming from Kuan, because the request was actually coming from 192.168.10.110. So the destination MAC address will also be that particular device that made the request. So that's basically 00-08. Okay? So mao man yung katong device nga nag-request ganiha. So instead of the destination MAC address is basically coming from, or this information is generated coming from the request, Okay, so coming from the request, so mo ni siya kani siya dire, kani. And then it's placed over here. Mo na siya dire. As part of the ARP reply. Okay? Your source MAC address for the ARP reply is actually coming from here. Ana siya dira. The target IPv4 was already provided from the request earlier from here, coming from this section from the ARP request. And the target MAC address with this corresponding IP from PC number 3 will now be recorded over here. Okay? So that's basically the reply. And with all of this information now, all of this information being held accordingly for our reply, then we're just gonna remove those. Okay. Our PC number 3 will now communicate back to PC number 1, but the question is it still be a broadcast? No. So it will not anymore be a broadcast. So that will now be a unicast. Okay. So it will now be a unicast. Ano siya dira as a reply. Okay. So this is now a unicast. And the reason why it is a unicast, it's because we are well aware of, okay, so we are well aware of the destination MAC address. That information is already stored as well in your switch. So your switch should be able to perform the unicast communication. Then your PC number 1 here, okay, so PC number 1 receives that ARP reply, and the following information will now be stored by your PC1's ARP cache. So that information would be the following. So earlier that was blue, so ito lang ni i-highlight as blue. So this here will now, so we now have that information. That is 192.168.10.50, and the MAC address of the said device is 00-0C. The packet will now be received by your PC. The received packet will be encapsulated. Kato siyang si ARP reply over here. Kani si ARP reply, this one. Okay, so this will be received. It will be de-encapsulated, containing there not only the target IPv4 information, but also the target MAC address of that corresponding IP address. So this here now, so after receiving, the payload that was on hold earlier will now be filled in with the actual destination MAC address. So this here is that. And this now, so we're just gonna make it blue because this came from the ARP reply. So that would be 00-0C. And yeah, that's basically it. So with that, PC1 can now send this data packet that was on hold earlier. So this will now be released. Okay, so that will now be released, and this data packet and its payload will then be sent to PC number 3. Okay, so what exactly, so this is to give everyone an idea. So ARP resolves at least an extent the issue of sending directly the payload. So instead of sending exactly the actual payload, it sends first a request packet, and the receiving device will then eventually reply back with a reply packet. So by the time that the actual payload will be sent now towards the intended receiving device, it will then be sent in a unicast form, in a unicast communication format. So mao na siya basically ang ARP. Okay? So that's basically it. Mao na siya si IPv4 ARP. Okay. So Unsay difference niya, so ako lang ikuan like, you'll have here katong IPv6. So IPv6 has a kuan, has a, well, not exactly a different approach, but rather almost similar ng operation. So let me just extend this drawing over here. I don't know, why did I enlarge that? Ako lang i-extend. Okay. The way ICMPv6, so atong ikuan lang, this should be, so this will have a different name. So instead of ARP, this is IPv6 ND. ND there stands for Neighbor Discovery.
Klaro inyong klase karon.
Okay. That's IPv6 ND Discovery. The process from which the payload has to be dealt with, the same gihapon before, like if it sees that the destination MAC address is missing because it's just had been created, it's a newly created data packet. So the IP address of the destination device is similar in terms of process, pareha gapon ani, but the IP address will not be this here, kaning IPv4 format. That would be in that will be so that would be ato lang, let me just copy this for reference. Where is that? Okay, just grab this. We're here. Siya. It will be the same payload. Yeah. Ato lang ni erase ni sad siya pod. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just grab this as well. Okay. Then that would be for the Ethernet header, and then we have our IP packet, but instead of our IP as this formats here in octets, it would rather be in hextets. Right? So this could be, let's say, we could just have this designated as FF11, and then followed by a colon, and then separated by further a few number of let me just ako lang ning i-dot guys ha, kay mas taas man good, so we could just have it that way. That's basically a representation of an IPv6 IP address in terms of hextets. Okay, so hextet, and then so to the last name number, that would be 50. So we're just gonna name this here as 50. So that we know that this source IP address here, okay, the source IP address is coming from PC number 1, and the destination IP address is, oh no, that's not 50. That should be 110 instead. Apologies. This is supposed to be 110. So this is FF11. So we're just gonna have that, and that, and then this is 110. Basically, this is your source device IP address, and then your destination device is device 50. That's FF11 colon, then ato lang na i-ana that. Then we have there 50. Siya. Okay. And then again, the destination MAC address is unknown, so wala tayo idea on saan siya. No, that should still be this here. Okay. So, walang usa ni siya sa difference sa imong IPv6 neighbor discovery gamit ka sa IP address gamit. Yeah, you're basically using here your IP address in the form of hexadecimal numbers. That's basically hextets in combination. the format of your payload, basically this is a data packet that you want to send towards the intended destination device, but again, dili pa known si dili pa known ang destination MAC address of that said device, but we are aware of the destination IP address. So ang mahitabo is that it will still perform the same operation where it will conduct a request, but the name of the request is not ARP request, and it will not include. So you might be thinking, sir, in this packet request, will it contain information involving IPv4 related stuff? No, it will not include those. It will not be included in the data packet. That information is not placed there. It will only be specific to IPv6 operations nga information. So the data packet of the request is referred to as ICMP-v6. Okay, so that should be that would be referred to as ICMP. So that is ICMP-v6. Okay, that's ICMP-v6. Yun. Ano ako mag-cancel? ICMP V6 neighbor should be neighbor solicitation. Okay? That would be the name. Well, it's still the same. It's still a request similar to what we had done with the ARP request, but it would have a different name. So referring to IPv6, and the name of that would be ICMP-v6 neighbor solicitation. So that would be this over here. And we're gonna grab this. Okay. Place it here. But the content of the request will be different because it would be made of the following. Let me just adjust this because we need another here and another section sa ato ang ICMP request. Taas kayo nga pangalan, ICMP-v6 neighbor solicitation. I'll just gonna call it as IPv6 request packet. Okay, so this will be your request packet. Now, the contents of this will be different. This will now be your Ethernet header. Kana siya, then naani siya gitawag na to destination MAC multicast. So we're just gonna remove this and then add this text. That is multicast. Okay, destination multicast. And then for our source MAC address, it would still be the same. Now, our source IPv6, that's basically, this will be kept as well. That would be 110, that's device 110. Then, our target is basically destination RP is kanisha si 50. That's basically found at it's actually found on the trailer of this request packet, and there will be an additional section here which we refer to as destination IPv6. So this is let me just call that over here. That's destination IPv6. Okay, destination IPv6. Oh no, this is SN multicast. So, kana siyang SN multicast. The meaning of that SN over there is what is that? It is solicited. It's a solicited node. Okay. So, mo na yung meaning sa SN. Okay. So what's basically the purpose of this two over here? Kanisiya o kanisiya. Okay. Now, the purpose of this two over here is basically this would serve as the advantage. This basically serves as the advantage for your IPv6 address resolution. It's because of this too. The destination IPv6 SN multicast or solicited multicast is basically information regarding the target destination IP. So that's basically one. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw in an arrow. So that's basically information coming from here. Okay, so now this is on the level of your logic layer. Okay, the logical layer, which is basically handled by your by the network layer. Okay, so that's the logic part of it. So that basically contains information regarding the destination IP address. This one here, and at the level of the Ethernet layer, basically the Ethernet layer is your physical layer and your data link layer. It also contains information of this one over here. So that's basically added over here. So the two of them work together so that this information would be passed on or would be, there should be a word for that. Rather than the encapsulation, you got not exactly fragmentation. You basically have their contents of this destination IP represented in the level of the network layer and at the level of your data link layer, or basically your Ethernet layer. All of them, the destination IP is represented here. Okay, why this here is needed, or why is this particular fields in this packet request important? Okay, remember that part on the ARP. So this packet will now be sent to all the devices, right? So it will be flooded to PC number 2. It will be flooded to our router and towards our intended device, right? What happens here is that the moment that this packet, this ICMPv6 neighbor solicitation reaches, let's say for instance, PC number 2, PC number 2 will not entirely de-encapsulate the data. Okay? Mind you, when ARP handles the receive packet request, ARP taha IPv4, the entire packet will be de-encapsulated and processed. And in which, that will take time. It will take time. It will also utilize resources, which takes a lot of, that's basically the time that the request packet had been processed, and at the point where that information, basically what the packet is looking for, which is the destination MAC address and the destination IP address, had to be compared with the destination IP address that is hold on that packet katong the received na packet. Now, with that, you have utilized a lot of resources, you have utilized a lot of time, and that would impact the network as a whole. In ICMPv6 neighbor solicitation, before the entire packet is basically opened or de-encapsulated, it checks first this two, kaning destination MAC multicast of destination IPv6 SN multicast. So basically at this level, because this is your header, so this information here is checked primarily. So muna yung pinakauna niyan check on. And the moment that the destination MAC multicast had been inspected, it checked na sa imong device, let's say ni PC number 2, containing their information, basically receiving that packet. It confirms or it compares that information with PC number 2's IP address. And if they are not the same, instead of the encapsulating the entire content of the entire content of that packet, the packet will be discarded right then and there. So i-discard na niya before even de-encapsulating the entire packet. So this means we are able to preserve their resources and preserve their time for this network as a whole. That's for PC number 2. That's the same thing as applied as well sa imuhang router. And this entire packet will only be opened or encapsulated up to the level where it will ask for the destination MAC address if you have the actual device itself that is targeted. So this is basically the difference between the two operations, between ARP and IPv6 or ND, neighbor discovery. Okay? So, yeah, that's basically it. And then, what will you expect? Well, by the time that your PC number 3 here has to reply back, well, it sends a reply similar to the contents of this request over here, but containing there exactly the MAC address of this destination device. So si MAC00C. The way the reply is treated is similar to what ARP IPv4 handles the packet. The reply packet is sent in a unicast format towards PC number 1. PC number 1 receives the packet, okay? So the PC1 receives that packet, stores the IP address, and then in this case that would be the IP address of IPv6 and the corresponding MAC address of that IPv6 destination nga address. And the payload, so katong gihapon gi-on-hold, ang katong gi-on-hold nga payload, the on-hold payload will now eventually be sent back towards the intended device. So, yeah, basically that's it. Mao na siya ang operations that are basically, those are basically the operations that are done for IPv4 and IPv6, particularly ARP and ND. ARP and ND. Okay? So, pwede gila, ako lang ni ikuan lang. Okay, na lang kay kuris-kuris. Ako lang na ipang at check na. Okay. Pwede na nila ko i-send ninyo ang image or pwede ka mula mo snapshot ani. So, ang nagdaog ra gid ani niya, ang difference na lang duha is that ang pagka-compose sa request of reply packets, yeah, sa imong IPv6 and how those packets work. Basically it's for the processing needs for your katong mga receiving devices once the request packet is actually being flooded. Yeah, so kana you can take a snapshot if ever you need to para makuha na ninyo. You can use this image here as a reference. Let me just do a snip and then send it. Pwede ba na ako i-send dire sa ko ano? Wait lang ha. Let me kuan that. I have a snapshot of this image. Okay. Oh no. Where is that? Okay. Pwede ba na ako na masend dire? Nope, I can't. Why I can't send it? Hindi na pwede taka-attach din no sa... Oh no, where was it? Message. Where exactly can I attach this? Use a phone, blah blah blah. Breakout rooms. Okay. Actually, mauna ni siya entirely ang discussion sa kuan. I'm just about to send to you guys the image lang. Saan ko may pag-send ha? Where do I send this? I am now confused. Palihog na lang kung snapshot na lang guys eh. Di ako masend diba? Ano? Kung pwede pa lang ni ma-attach ang chat. Google Meet. Dili man ni kuan gud. Anyway. We cannot attach an image. Okay. So palihog lang ko og take a snapshot so you'll have a reference on the drawing. Now, mind you, if ever you weren't able to catch up with the discussion I had, ayaw mo kabalaka, there is an existing video of this. Uh, there are a lot of what do you call this? There are a lot of tutorials in YouTube, or maybe you could find it from Wiki, etc. A variety of resources where this same discussion I have is actually explained how IPv4 and IPv6 basically resolves addresses between your end devices. So end device to end device address resolution. So either in the forms of IPv4 or IPv6 using their ARP and NB. So let me just go back to the presentation. Katong sa ato ang kuan. Where was that exactly? It should be this one over here. And then present something else. It should be this one. I'll share this to everyone. Okay. Okay. So Mona, see, yeah. Okay. So the rest of the contents here, other than those that I have discussed, so mo kami gihapon. This is only just a single slide, but the detailed explanation was already given earlier. So Monica to sa IPv6, similar in terms of in terms of operation, where it would generate there a request and there is a corresponding reply, but the only difference is basically katong destination MAC multicast or destination IP multicast, which is the content or additional fields on the request packet and the reply packet for ICMPv6 neighbor solicitation. Okay? So, mo na difference sa duha. Sa ARP o sa IP, sa ARP o sa ICMPv6. So, it's already 12:38 and I have already opened the exercises. You can actually check the contents of the exercise from your modules. So let me just show that to everyone here. Pwede ko na ikuan. So I will view this as a student. And yeah, please do check. I'll share this to everyone here. I'll be presenting this. Okay. So please do check this. It's already opened onto your Canvas accounts, and it had already opened earlier at the time 12 noon. You have 3 corresponding exercises for module number 9. So these are all packet tracer activities where you will be working with those that we have. Basically, this corresponds to our lecture earlier. So please do perform this, and the deadline for this will be next week, October 14. Okay. So we had already made discussions with Sir Labarosa regarding your midterm examination. Possibly the schedule of the midterm examination would be next week. Tuesday, Thursday, no? So most likely that will be scheduled on a Thursday, and the examination will be conducted face to face. Yeah. The examination will be conducted face to face unless there are further instructions that you are recommended to take the examination in an online setup similar to this. Okay? So, mag-agad pataan na kung kuan gani, but naman sa memo nga allowed nga mag-conduct of face-to-face nga activity, or the face-to-face activity or the examination will be conducted here kay kuan man ta, laboratory man ta, di man ta lecture. So laboratories are allowed to have face-to-face nga meetings. So I would recommend that the examination or the midterm assessment will be conducted as face-to-face. Another thing pod kay the midterm assessment will have 2 separate phases, or part 1 and part 2. It will have 2 parts. Part 1 will be written and theoretical, and then part 2 will be skills assessment. So most of it will be Cisco Packet Tracer related nga exercise. So that would be separate into parts. Your midterm assessment will be separated in parts. Okay? Coverage sa inyong assessment, all topics after midterm. So that starts with kato ganing kuan. Where would it start? Number systems. Yes. It should start from number systems. Okay? Number systems. And number systems is specifically module number 5. Yeah, module number 5. So from mod 5 until whatever module we end up within the week or up until next week. Before the exam. Yeah. So, mo naging kuan by starting just to address the question coming from Kalo. Okay. The number systems, module 5 until whatever module we end up within the week or up until next or up until before the examination. Yeah. Okay. So, mao na siya. And that should be for our lesson this morning. And you guys have your lunch na, so that should be all for our discussion. The remaining time, you can work on you can use the remaining time to work on your exercises that I had already opened, or maybe you could take your lunch or whatever. Just make sure to use your time wisely, considering na napamoy pila ka minutes before our time, 1:30, to do the exercises. And that should be all for today. But before you guys leave, ayaw sa lakaw hatulan, ayaw sa kay mag-attendance na. Kadali lang. Apoy pa kon. Kani makita man ninyo diri nga attendance. So palihog kog confirm. Okay? So naa ba si Johansson Abatayo? Naa, okay. So naa si Abatayo. Palihog kog kon ha. If you have a microphone or if you just need to chat lang kaya maka-confirm ko. Followed by Alejandre.
Present, sir.
Okay, then followed by Ayabe.
Present, sir.
Bintulan. Is he absent? Bintulan is absent. Then followed by Bordario. Bordario is absent.
Present, sir.
At kaya katubag gikan ni siya natulog ay. Kabatas, na si Kabatas.
Present, sir.
Kagasan. Wala.
Present, sir.
Tara. Gikan lagi ni sila natulog lagi. Kaintik.
Present, sir.
Dayon Kalo just responded earlier, so okay na say Kalo. Colina?
Present, sir.
Si Colina. Then followed by
Present, sir.
Fernandez.